Lewis Hamilton's previous Formula One debuts. As race 1 of the 2025 season approaches faster than Trump's next liberal triggering move, Formula One statistical goat Lewis Hamilton will be making his third Formula One debut. Now, before you call someone to come check on my mental health, this will truly be Hamilton's third F1 debut, following his debut for McLaren in 2007, Mercedes in 2013. Because after all, debut, as defined by my old friend Google, is a person's first appearance or performance in a particular capacity or role, and that capacity or role being a McLaren, then a Mercedes, and now a Ferrari driver. Testing has given us a small idea, but we really have no idea what to expect, do we? So we can then only look back at what happened in the great man's previous two first races and see if history, as it tends to do, will be repeating itself. Said Hamilton himself leading up to the start of the season, and I quote, "There's still things to learn, but I'm just excited to get going. I love racing. Being at Melbourne is going to be very reminiscent of my first Grand Prix there." End quote. So let's start up that DeLorean and have a look at what happened in Hamilton's first Grand Prix for McLaren and Mercedes, both of them also in Australia. McLaren debut, also his Formula One debut, aged 22. The year was 2007. Fresh off a brilliant GP2 season where he beat Nelson Piquet Jr. to the title, Hamilton was given the McLaren drive, where he would face off with two-time World Drivers' Champion Fernando Alonso, when announcing the rather surprising chance being given to the rookie driver in what was a title-challenging car. Team boss Ron Dennis said, and I quote, "We reviewed the whole grid, and when we looked at the drivers other than the top three, there was no one that really shone. Hamilton has been in the family for a long time, and he deserves the opportunity we're giving him." End quote. So the stage was set for the young Brit to make his debut, notably also becoming the first black driver to race in Formula One. For the season opening Australian Grand Prix, Hamilton managed to qualify his McLaren a very respectable fourth for his very first race, with teammate Alonso starting second. 105,000 fans were there on race day, and they were not disappointed. Kimi started from pole and pulled clear in the Ferrari, while Heidfeld got his BMW past Alonso's McLaren. Hamilton briefly stuck around behind these three before going outside Alonso into third place. Heidfeld pitted on lap 15, Kimi on lap 19, which left Hamilton leading a race in his very first Grand Prix. Lewis pitted a lap later and rejoined ahead of Heidfeld and Alonso, but behind Kimi's Ferrari. Kimi was flying as he did back then and established a commanding lead over Hamilton. Kimi made his final planned stop and came out third, behind both McLarens. Hamilton then pitted from the lead, and Alonso pitted a lap later, but came out behind Kimi but ahead of Hamilton, and that was how they would finish. Raikkonen, Alonso, Hamilton. Hamilton became the first driver since Jacques Villeneuve in 1996 to score a podium on debut, and it also was the first race in World Championship history where all three podium finishers were making their debuts for their current teams. Mercedes debut, aged 28 in 2013, having won the 2008 World Drivers' title and been a challenger for the title multiple times. Hamilton rather surprisingly announced he would be joining Mercedes for the 2013 season. Hamilton said he was forever grateful for the opportunities and support he had received throughout his career, and ending a 15-year association with McLaren. He surprisingly left McLaren, who scored 378 points and finished third in the Constructors in 2012, to join Mercedes, scored 142 and only finished fifth. The race, well, things started promisingly. He qualified his new Silver Arrow third, with teammate Nico Rosberg in sixth. Vettel started from pole and he pulled clear in the Red Bull. Webber in the second Red Bull had an issue and was passed by the Ferraris of Massa and Alonso, who also went past Hamilton. Kimi in the Lotus then took fourth from Hamilton on lap 2. Lacking the pace of the other teams, Mercedes waited till lap 13 to pit Lewis and remove the super softs he was running on. Lap 20 Alonso pitted for a second time with Vettel coming in the next lap, leaving Raikkonen, Hamilton and Rosberg in the top 3 places. Rosberg retired and Hamilton, who was on a 2-stopper, began dropping lap times due to tyre wear and was passed by Alonso on lap 32. For the rest of the race, Hamilton couldn't really make up time on the leaders and ended 5th, with Kimi, ironically enough, just like in Hamilton's debut for McLaren, winning, this time only for Lotus. Alonso finishing 2nd, ironically enough also, but this time for Ferrari, and Vettel and Massa, with Hamilton finishing in 5th. And now his Ferrari debut. He will be 40 years old, the year is 2025, and the statistical GOAT has 105 Grand Prix wins, 202 podiums and 7 World Drivers titles. Nothing needs to be said about the man's pedigree, and I'm pretty sure Kimi won't win this one, although Alonso, I guess, could still finish 2nd, like in the previous 2 times he made his debut for a team. Did you know though that Lewis and new team boss Fred Vasseur have won a title together in the past? Back in 2006, when Lewis won the GP2 title, it was for the ART team under co-founders Nicolas Todt and Fred Vasseur. What will happen on Hamilton's Ferrari debut, once again in Australia? Just like when he made his McLaren and Mercedes debuts, only time will tell us. I can tell you though that it will be the first time in Lewis Hamilton's Formula 1 career that he will be powered by something other than a Mercedes engine. Ironically, his 2 fiercest rivals during his career, Alonso and Rosberg, were his teammates when he made his debut for his previous teams. Let's hope history doesn't repeat itself in this way, or 2025 may see sparks fly between the Ferraris. Well, that's our video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you are as excited as I am for the race this weekend. Thank you for watching. I of course have to ask you if you would think about subscribing and sharing our content, and liking the video. It really does help to keep the old algorithm going. God bless, goodbye, and may the papayas win!